SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening. What's going on, RWT family?
Woo! Yeah! Woo! Black Bane, motherfucker!
Jesus Christ. I fucked up my intro.
Welcome to the Retro Rewind.
Welcome,
what up, bitches?
Welcome to episode 3015 of Max Podcast.
Oh, wait, what?
Wrong fucking show,
wrong
my
one.
bad.
Wrong show.
Toss that in the trash.
Oh, my Lord. So off the rails.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Moses
you know
Marquez.
What I mean?
You know what I mean?
Why does he hate me so much?
Marquez.
Like, his hatred went from you to me in like a matter of seconds, all because I defended myself. What the hell?
I don't like when people defend it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Apparently, I
We're
don't.
making fun of him now? All right. Here we go. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Mr. Amir. He's in his car.
He loves to make fun of you in your car. It's like, well, dude, he's working. Like,
Yes, I cut promos in my car. I'm sorry. That's the only place I can fucking cut promos now. Like,
do you want him to be like me, dude, and sit in front of a whole mic setup and cut you down, or like, he's fucking doing it as he's working? Like, it's called multitasking.
I was in the hot seat. It was a Max Podcast special.
Dazzy Lee.
The captain, Dazzy Lee. I've confirmed with him. The name is Lee, not Leah. But apparently in the UK they spell Lee, L-E-A, not L-E-E. But
that was like the imitation Bruce Lee. They had Bruce Lee, Bruce L-E-E, or L-E-I, or L-E-I.
Yeah.
Fucking Bruce L-I-I-E. Bruce L-I, Bruce L-E. I swear, you had like about 10,000 different Bruces.
Exactly.
Except for the black one.
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce.
His name was Bruce.
But yeah,
Power to the people.
I got a chance to give some really concrete final thoughts on this situation with Dave the Butcher Gillum. And all I got to say is I stand by what I said. Promo Mania is April 6th. And when I beat the Butcher, everybody that supported him, everybody that follows him, including the Butcher himself, they shall all be removed from RWT. And if for some reason he manages to beat me, then I shall retire from cutting promos forever.
And we all know that ain't gonna happen.
Whatever. I'll go across the damn pond, put my foot in his ass, and then we'll call it even.
Call it even. Steven. I don't know. It's heated. It's a heated thing going on right now. Like I said, it's gotten all over the place. I've gotten involved, but time will tell. If they're all gone, that's fine with me. I mean, that's what you get. Stop fucking following a guy that exactly how you said. Which, by the way, that was a really good interview. I gotta give that interview all the credit in the world. He brings you up. He praises you so much, puts you on a pedestal. But then when he's done with you, he just gives you the thumbs down, and then down you go. You just come crashing down. So
hashtag yes. Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Come on, man. He did that. He was the rap devil, and all of a sudden he was like, he was praising Eminem.
Yeah, he's the real life Stan.
Praising it. Yeah, and that's what he was. He was the real life Stan. So it's like, so you're gonna praise him, you're gonna talk shit to him, but you're gonna praise him. Like, fool, if you gonna come after somebody, you come after somebody. Don't give me this shit half-assed and you're gonna be like, oh, but you're a nice guy.
Yeah, but
you a motherfucker, but you a nice guy.
Pick a side, pick a struggle.
Right.
Agreed.
Let's jump into this bitch now.
That's true. Let's flip this around. Let's get to the reason why we're here, and the reason why we're here, as Paul said oh so kindly earlier, this is the Retro Rewind. That was Emir Black Bane Costello, the RWT Kingpin, and of course that was Paul Morales, the Undertaker of the RWT group.
What up?
and we are reviewing a WCW show. Some too have proclaimed it to be the worst wrestling pay-per-view of all time. Some say it was really good.
I don't who said it was the worst of all time.
Sports
That's
Illustrated.
ridiculous.
Yeah, because we did the AWA one, and that was the worst of all time.
If you say this is the worst of all time, that's egregious.
I don't disagree with you, but I looked up. I just Googled Halloween WCW Halloween Havoc 1998, and then I got there was a good page was about reviews. One of them was from Sports Illustrated, and its title was "Worst Pay-Per-View of All Time?" ?
Whoever wrote that, allow me to respond by fingering everybody that they've ever loved.
That's a bit
Oh,
extreme.
That's right.
But bumping, that's how we get down.
Or as my father-in-law says, "Fuck him in the ass."
There it is.
Jesus Christ. This fucking show is off the rails.
Look. At least it's fucking. Look, at least we're happy. We're go lucky. Be happy. Go lucky. Happy, joy. Happy, joy. Okay, on to the pay-per-view, which was Halloween Havoc 1998. I literally think this was probably up there with that AWA show. Minus, yeah, fuck you.
Oh, Paul.
Now,
fuck you. You're wrong.
now hold on.
You could tell me I'm wrong.
Hold on. I want to be the man in the middle on this one.
Moses in the middle. Let's go.
Okay, that was terrible.
Know where I like you at, baby.
You guys are all
in the middle.
You're disgusting.
That's called riding, bitch.
This is disgusting. Anyway, what I'm saying is, if all these shows we watch were in a tier, AWA being the bottom of the barrel, this was in that league. I'm really thinking my biggest reason I enjoyed it as much as I did was sheer nostalgia. WCW was pretty much the main wrestling I watched until I want to say Mick Foley won the belt, and then I started to watch more WWF. But until then, I was hardcore WCW guy.
I'm the opposite of you. All I watched was WWF. You know what I hate about WCW? I hate the lighting. I hate their cameras. I hate their dark ass ring. It all just screams off-brand.
I fucking loved it. I was it brought me back. I was like, this is great. This is great. This is way better than Raw.
But you want to know who used to watch WCW a whole lot? Were fucking college students.
That's true.
Everyone, their crowd were all college students. That was literally what they did.
They used to also go to college campuses and do shows.
Yeah, but that's what they did. They went to college campuses. They went down to different schools, to go get those kids. Oh, come in, watch this, watch wrestling. But those guys were the ones that were watching it religiously in their freaking dorms. Some of them that actually had those community areas, they would actually use that to watch Nitro.
Yeah. Come get some free tickets.
They used to do it at Cal State Fullerton.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember. I think they actually aired an episode of Nitro there, if I'm not mistaken.
In Long Beach, at the Long Beach Arena, they had Nitro.
They did it there, but they did a Thunder over there at
there you go.
At the campus of Cal State Fullerton.
Thunder. Fuck that show.
The show's not too bad. Who knows? It may jump on our list. But you're saying a lot of the college students, these guys grew up watching probably NWA and followed NWA through and stayed with WCW. That's what a lot of people did. A lot of people that were mainstay fans of WCW followed them to TNA, but then eventually they realized, what the hell are we doing with our lives?
Well, why did it take them so long to realize that shit?
Because they got older and they realized that WWE was a better product.
For the time, and then now they're stuck watching.
At that time, in the early 2000s. I didn't say now, I said in early 2000s.
And now they're stuck watching absolute trash. So, I'm not going to call this trash, but let's jump into the show. The awesome commentary team is introduced to us, Mike Tenay, Tony Schiavone, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Rest in peace to Bobby the Brain.
I got chills. I ain't going to lie.
It was
I
great.
heard his voice. I heard his voice. I actually had
All
my
night,
phone
too.
down. No. I actually had my phone down when I started it, and I went to go do something, and I came back, and I can hear him, and I was like, "Ooh, whoa!" Like you hear him, and it's like it takes you back. It took me back.
Oh, but he's so good. I love his overreactions when he's talking about Goldberg. It's just it's the greatest.
I didn't realize it was Bobby the Brain Heenan because while I was watching the show, I actually completed 360 squats, and I was so focused on being tired that I wasn't paying attention to the voices in the background.
Well, there you go. A little
Or the
insight
voices in
for
your
you.
head.
Right?
Well, they were pretty much this whole show for the most part was, from what I can tell, and we'll find out in a few weeks when we go to our new format. This whole show was pretty much built around the rematch of Hogan and Warrior, to the point where even like Warrior was doing like voodoo tricks or whatever, and was showing up in a fucking mirror to Hogan, scaring the shit out of him. It's hilarious, and they showed that like in the pre-show before they got introducing everybody, and I was just laughing. I was like, Jesus,
Oh yeah.
this is what I got myself into. But then we hear another awesome voice of another unfortunate man that's passed, Mean Gene Okerlund, who nobody could interview like Mean Gene.
And that's what kind of upset me. It kind of upset me that you get him at the beginning, but the rest of the show you don't hear from him. Like he doesn't do any interviews.
Yeah.
The people that came out to talk or like that, but he's not out there. You can hear his voice. Interviewing them. Well, you're not doing this. You're not doing that, or just interviewing anybody. It's just we get the fucking Nitro girls.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. I was just
Bitches
gonna say,
who can't fucking these fucking women who can't fucking dance for shit.
I was just gonna say, for those of you who were gonna jump on my case because you actually followed the show with us, yes, the Nitro Girls showed up before Mean Gene. I don't care. It's a waste of my time. Okay, I wanted to get to Mean Gene. Mean Gene calls out the dog-faced gremlin, Rick Steiner, a man I know lots about. He's awesome. He comes out, and immediately I'm thinking, what the fuck are you wearing with this crazy-ass jacket that has the fucking dogs on his shoulders, and I forgot about the chain, and he
says
threw me
beware of
off.
dogs. That's what it says.
It threw me off. He's way smaller than the last time we saw him, which during an NWA show. Or no, actually no, we saw him in WCW, and he was even way bigger then. He's just lost so much mass. I don't know. I'm not even gonna say compared to his brother, but just, all in all, he's way smaller, tripping me out. He cuts this interview. His brother's running from him, which is hilarious because his brother's like 2 times his size. He calls himself the genetic freak, which we all know is bullshit. And then out comes Buff Bagwell, which more nostalgia.
Steroids.
I'm Buff, and I'm the stuff.
First off, if you don't think Buff Bagwell is on steroids, you're full of shit. He's like
Right.
His entire upper body is like 3 times the size of his legs. It's ridiculous. He was so fucking wide up top and then like little down below, and I'm like, what? What is going on? And he's buff and he's the stuff, but whatever. He comes out, he's saying he's gonna have Rick Steiner's back, that no matter what, he says that he's done with the NWO, and we're supposed to fucking believe him. We all know that's bullshit. And they end up agreeing. He says, okay, you'll watch my back, we'll see what's going on. It's supposed to be a tag team match. It fucking escalates later, but I was so glad that the stupid segment was over and we get to a match, because it just got so just dragging it on. They're trying to get the cheap heat. Oh, they were doing it here, Las Vegas. Okay, you said Las Vegas 10 times.
Dude, 11 minutes passed between the time that they came on and the first match. If I'm being precise, it was about 11 and a half minutes before they actually had
And then on top
the
of
guys
that,
coming out for the match.
on top of that, you got to add the time for the fucking Nitro Girls. So what is that? It's like a 15-minute delay. I'm still getting my beer and shit. I'm hoping that's why they did that. It's to make sure that I'm a happy camper with my beer and hot dog. Because Jesus criminy.
Cry me a fucking river.
Emir, tell me you feel some type of way. Something.
I don't give a shit. I fast forwarded through all that shit. I'm not gonna sit there and watch. Here's the thing: if I'm watching live and I have no choice, that's one fucking thing. But this bitch took place in 1998. Man, I was like 6 years old or some shit, 7. I don't know. But I'm not gonna watch the Nitro Girls in their colorful ass wigs. I don't give a shit about anybody who's talking on an interview. I just want to see people wrestle. So if like the moment people get out of the ring, I fast forward till somebody comes back in that motherfucker.
I love my boy Amir. This is why we on the same fucking wavelength. See, this is why.
Yeah.
I did the exact same shit. I can't say too much.
So I'm gonna say this. I was really, really, really hoping to hear Jericho's WCW theme, but no. Fuck no. Stupid network puts in the fucking his first theme when he first shows up to WWE. How
That's what I was like.
you?
I
How
wrote that in my
dare
notes. I was like, yo, did he has this? I wrote, this theme sounds very similar to his WWE theme.
He had like a
what the fuck is
ripoff
going on?
of a Pearl Jam song. I'm trying to remember the song name. Even Flow. It was like an Even Flow ripoff, but I don't fucking know. They fucking took it away. It pissed me off. But then, Raven sounds like Raven. Raven comes out looking like...
Quote the Raven, nevermore.
First off, the show we did before this was 2005, right?
What about me? What about Raven?
That was 7 years after this show. 7 years. Fucking Raven looks destroyed in that amount of time. Jesus Christ. He looks like a stud in this shit. Like a fucking young stud. He's going to be world champion one day. Look at this guy. And you fucking saw him 7 years later, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, how did he get on top of that fucking cage so fast?
Jesus Christ. It was just so bad. But yes, the Raven comes out first. He's sitting there. What about me? What about Raven? He's bitching that he's on a losing streak. He's like, whatever. I don't even want to wrestle. Nobody told me I was going to wrestle tonight. I'm not wrestling. Fucking Jericho calls him a loser. All of a sudden, they start fighting. Oh, no. Hold on. Wait. Jericho, hold on. I have to fucking... It says, Jericho says he's here for the Jerichoholics. The Jerichoholics want to see him wrestle because Jericho equals buy rates, equals asses in the seats, and equals rock and roll. I was like, that makes no sense. You're an idiot.
Never does.
It's so on brand for Jericho, though.
It really is, though. And if I didn't mention...
He got better. Don't worry. He got better.
Yeah, it took him time. But I didn't mention, this is for the WCW television title.
On a pay-per-view.
On a pay-per-view. But that's okay, because it's all right. This match wasn't, like, horrible. I never thought Raven was a great worker. But Jericho can work around him. He can do some things. Spend a little bit too much time outside. The Lion Tamer, I wish he would fucking apply it the way he should apply it when he gets down on one knee, but no. This is when he's learning it safely. And he's just putting everybody in like an extended Boston Crab, and it looks like shit. I hate it. But, I mean, Raven hits his even flow DDT. Jericho kicks out. Jericho gets a low blow in front of the ref. Nobody says nothing. I think even the fucking commentary team is like, oh, we need to look into that maneuver. It's like, it was just a little ridiculous.
That happened several times throughout the night where somebody just blatantly kicked or punched somebody in the balls, and the ref is like, yeah, I don't see nothing.
It's just so annoying compared. Well, I mean, I'm not even saying compared to now. It's just like
it's like Nick Patrick. It looks like Nick Patrick was fucking blind then.
Yeah, right, dude. He was training all the refs. All of them were just retarded. It was just unbelievable. But Jericho was able to get the walls in again, and Raven taps immediately. It's about 8 minutes of a match that could have went 6 and got the same amount of stuff in. It was fine. I'm not going to say it was a great opener. I'll say it was a good opener. I'm not going to say it was great. I don't know if I want to watch it again. But I do miss that
I
belt.
sure as hell don't.
I wouldn't watch it again, but I just tried
I wouldn't
to
suggest anybody to watch it.
I tried to enjoy seeing this version of Jericho because I remember the first time I watched WCW, I saw Jericho, and if you think about how Triple H looked at that time, when I first saw Jericho, I was like, oh, this is their version of Triple H, skinny, blonde hair, a little bit of curl to it, blah, blah, blah. But then the first time I ever saw Triple H stand next to Jericho, I was like, Jericho is really short. But at the time, I didn't have any context. So, to me, Jericho used to be, not his wrestling style, but just his look. I just thought, this is their version of Triple H. Because, Triple H used to have pants on back then and had, the long blonde hair. This is before he joined DX and stuff like that.
When he was known as Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
When he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
But not when he was super classy. I mean, this was like...
Oh, in his WCW era? With his fucking hair out?
He was in WWE. He wasn't in DX yet, and he had his pants had the 3 H's on it, but not the ruffled shirt and super proper. It was right before, but they just looked very similar to me back then. So, but anyways, I just enjoyed Jericho in this match because I was like, dude, you have no idea that years and years and years from now, you're gonna be the fucking GOAT. You're still gonna be wrestling. You're still gonna be making money. You're gonna be a rock star. You're gonna have a huge hit of a podcast. You're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. You have no clue what's in your future, young man. But then at the end, when he won, he was jumping up and down. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Jericho's super annoying. That's his gimmick. Well, with that being said, I thought the match was decent. It wasn't spectacular by any means, so I just gave it a 3.
I can dig that.
I gave it a 1.
Jesus criminy, why?
Because it was horrible.
No,
there was nothing.
Wasn't.
There was nothing.
There was just being
look. I'm sorry, but there was nothing exciting about this match. I gave it a 1 for Jericho.
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 1 because of Jericho. If it wasn't Jericho, and if it was maybe I don't know. What the hell was that smiley guy? If it was them, and I probably would have gave it a 0.
What the fuck is smiley guy?
There was nothing about this match that was exciting. Nothing.
It was
I don't give a shit how the hell you want to spin it. There was nothing fucking exciting about this match.
I didn't say it had to be exciting, but it was a solid match. It was a good opener. I gave it a 3.
Dude,
you're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about.
You're full of shit, dude. There was nothing. There was no substance to this match. There was nothing.
The fuck do you want it to do? Do you want it to fucking be Okada Omega in the fucking opener? No, dude. They went out there.
I didn't say it had to be that.
It was fine.
It could have been
they didn't fuck anything up. It looked okay. I give him a 3. It's fine. It's fine.
Whatever, dude. It was a 1.
I mean, truth be told, if you want to get technical, you put this fucking Disco Inferno Juventud Guerrera match before that one. That one was a better match. But before that, of course, because this is a WCW/NWO show, we have to hear from Hogan and Bischoff. And I wanted to fucking puke when I saw Eric Bischoff. I looked at the screen and I was like, I liked you way more when you were in WWE. And I just wanted to throw up. And Hogan's tan is so terrible. His skin looks fake. His goatee looks painted. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's how he was back then. The funny thing about Hulk Hogan has been old literally my entire life. There are some people who just seemingly live forever. Hulk Hogan is a huge dick, and he's outlived all the good ones except for Ric Flair, because Ric Flair is the devil. So they're both still kicking and screaming. But yeah, you
Hey,
looked at
so's the
Hogan.
fucking Iron Sheik. Relax. The Iron Sheik is still fucking alive and kicking.
Iron Sheik. Let me tell you something. I've never seen somebody with so little grasp of the English language get further when it comes to talking shit. Like, it's insane. Like the Iron Sheik knows exactly 6.5 words, and he manages to talk more shit with those words than anybody I've ever seen.
And one of those 6.5 words is actually fuck. So
Yeah, fuck the Hulkster. Make a rap song. Like what?
Exactly. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Fuck
Lordy.
fucking Hulk Hogan and his fucking old fucking daddy, sugar daddy fucking look.
He's so cool when he still has on the bandana and the sunglasses, and you're like, yeah, this is a badass. When somebody hits him and that bandana comes off and them glasses fall, you're like, yo, somebody's gonna break him. Call security. Like, it's a different look. You know what I mean?
Different look for sure. I mean, okay, so that, like I said, they were kept building this all night long. They weren't even building like the Hogan and Warrior thing. They kept building the fucking beating that they put on Horace Hogan all night long. Like after every match, look at how they kicked his ass. And that fucking chair shot. Like we know, I've seen it. But all night long. And then, of course, again, it's finally over, and we get to another match. That seems to be a continuous thing throughout this show. We get a match, and then a bunch of bullshit that we could have easily skipped. And then we get a match, and then a bunch of bullshit that we could have easily skipped. And it could be a good match or a bad match, but then we still get a bunch of bullshit.
I did skip it. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you may be the only one who sat through the bullshit.
I watched the entire
Again.
show.
No, that was 4 minutes. That was 4 minutes and 23 seconds that I didn't sit through.
I watched everything twice because I am a goddamn professional.
I'm glad you did, because
that doesn't make you're a professional, Moses Marquez. If you're professional, what time is this show supposed to start?
I don't know.
Exactly. All right.
That's not the point. The point is,
Did your laundry get done?
Air his ass out.
That's fine. They don't need to know. They're fucking behind the curtain. All they know is the show is released when I release it.
This is the equivalent of Brock Lesnar throwing the title at Vince in the back.
Bet your ass. Oh yeah, son of a bitch.
Don't worry, Moses. We still love you.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
So, bitch.
Anyways, speaking of some bitches, WCW Cruiserweight Championship, Disco Inferno versus Juventud Guerrera. How in the fuck is Disco Inferno a fucking cruiserweight? He's like 250.
Yo, I don't know, but Juventud Guerrera. Oh my god, it was so good to see him. I forgot about that motherfucker. When I was a kid, I was like, is this a wrestler or is this Michael Jackson?
Wow. That's terrible.
Oh, we gonna act like Juventud doesn't look like Michael Jackson? Okay.
I want to say he looks like an 11-year-old
Come on, man.
boy.
We saw Hoovy at the fucking AAA show.
Yeah, but he
looks older and bigger.
Yeah, but he didn't look the same. In this one, he looks like an 11-year-old boy. Especially since he didn't have a mask on.
Disco Inferno legit hit the goddamn Macarena. You know, my kids wouldn't even know what that was if I did it. They'd be like, "Are you having a seizure? What is happening? What is the macaroni?"
What's the macaroni?
I remember after he stopped being Disco Inferno, he went to Hip Hop Inferno.
So ridiculous. That's like 2 Chainz went to wearing 3 Chainz. It's like okay, huge upgrade.
Right?
That's one too many, bro. That's one too
He
many.
said I upgraded 2 Chainz, 3 Chainz.
So, let's just get to this match. I felt like this was really good. Now, maybe I need to lay off the weed or something, but I felt like it was good. Hoovy is great. Disco, like I said, he's good. He's not excellent. He's not the greatest. He's not a top guy. He's just good. You know. But I enjoyed this match. A freaking victory roll that gets countered into this gnarly spike pile driver. Disco pulls out the win in about 10 minutes. I mean, it was a little sloppy to begin with. Got better at the end. I give it a 2.5.
Um,
Disco's fat. I said it.
Here's the thing. um, Wait, hang on. Let me ask you a question. Did we literally just skip past the Ming match, or am I tripping?
No, Ming is later.
No, he's not.
No, it was before this one.
Ming is right now before this match.
Bullshit.
You're bullshit.
Did I
Take good
fucking-
notes next time.
Oh, Jesus. My notes are terrible then. Because yeah, well, all right, well, you want to talk about the Ming match? You want to talk about Ming versus Raph? A fucking 2.5
No,
minute, 3 minute
don't.
match that wasted everybody's goddamn time. I
I
feel
just
bad.
will say this
I love
about the
Ming.
Ming match. I don't want to pretend like it didn't happen like you. All I want to say is I gave that match a 2.5 because I said it was a decent big man match, and the fact that Ming actually did the favors and let somebody beat him, I thought that was pretty cool. Now, Juventud and Disco Inferno. I also gave this match a 2.5, and for this reason. It was a decent match. It was just an average match. That could have been a match on Nitro or Thunder. But
That would have been like the greatest Thunder match ever.
there was like nothing. This match was a good match, but it's like, did we forget that this is a pay-per-view? As one of the announcers went like, oh, and the millions and millions watching at home. Or did you mean to say hundreds and hundreds? Anyways, all I'm trying to say is this. There was nothing wrong with the match. It's just the part where like that wasn't a pay-per-view quality match to me. So I enjoyed it. I was entertained by it, but I wasn't wild or there was no pizzazz. So I just gave it a 2.5.
I can agree with that. And
Okay,
since you
back
brought
to
up
the
the
Wrath
Ming
and-
match,
Okay, back to the
2.
Wrath and Ming one. I gave it a 0.
You're just gonna shit all over this show, ain't you?
Because it was 4 minutes and 23 seconds too long.
Would you say that to Ming's face?
Fuck
Yes,
no.
I would say that to Ming's
Fuck
face too.
no.
Oh my god!
And I gave the Disco Inferno one. I actually gave that one a 2.
Hold on. So you crap
2.5.
on Ming.
Take that back. 2.5.
So you crap on the Ming match, but you give this a 2.5.
Look, it's WCW. You already knew what the hell was going to happen. I already knew that Wrath has only been there for a few months. You know, you're going to end up having a squash match on a pay-per-view, which is what I found out. And that was basically what it was. Ming was was supposed to be this big guy, and Wrath was supposed to be this big guy who was formerly Adam Bomb in WWE. For WWF.
Had a mom. I remember him.
I don't.
Yeah, so he was supposed to be one of those. He survived a nuclear bomb, hence why his name is Adam Bomb. He had like these weird eyes. He used to wear like goggles. Anyways, so back to the disco.
That
What?
sounds like Lodi.
Oh God.
Him too.
I'm not even. I'm dreading until we get to that match. I'm dreading the moment until we get to that match.
Oh,
Just
that
make
was
sure
my
you
five.
make sure you hold up your crowd sign while we review it.
Jesus. This match sucks.
Okay, I gave it a 2. Anyways, I gave this one a 2.
Nice.
I agree with the mirror. 2.5. Like I said, I enjoyed it. Disco's fine. The Ming match, I give it a 2 just because I like Ming a lot. Wrath just looked gigantuan. He just kind of reminded me of Braun Strowman without the gigantic beard. So. But it was, that one match was fine. We don't even need to talk about it. But we do get more bullshit, fucking time-killing promos. Out comes Scott Steiner, who they don't even call Scott Steiner anymore. It's fucking Big Papa Pump. Comes out, spends his 90 seconds. He's botching. He botches the nickname The City That Never Sleeps. He says he goes 3 days and 30 nights with one freak. I was like, wait, what? He's a crazy. I don't even know what. But he's out there and he ends up. Gene asks him like, why are you ducking your brother? Why do you keep ducking your brother? We were supposed to have this match here, this match there. Anyway, J.J. Dillon comes out.
Oh, he did a second interview?
No, not Rick, Scott.
No, I mean Scott did Mean Gene did a second interview.
Oh, was this not Mean Gene?
I don't even know. I like I said, I was with Amir. I kind of fast forward through all that part.
No, then this was not Mean
But you
Gene.
can you can continue.
I did not write down who was interviewing. He must have just fucking came out and grabbed the mic. All I heard was him talking, cooking dinner, and taking notes, folks. This is how to do it in the real world. Anyway,
right?
J.J. Dillon comes out, says that he's no friend of Logic. He says that they're going to be in a tag team match. Rick and Buff. If they win, then Scott has to face Rick one-on-one. And they kept saying for 15 minutes. That was their thing. For 15 minutes. And it's like, okay.
Uh-huh.
It was just really weird. And they end up going to the back. Just a bunch of BS. And then, of course, more Nitro Girls. Because what a better way to waste more time than these freaking girls that can't dance and they're wasting more time.
Hey, man. Don't talk about Shawn Michaels' wife like that.
Wait a minute. What? Which one?
The one that was in the back.
Shawn Michaels' wife was a Nitro Girl, man.
You act like I'm supposed to know these things.
Dude,
I
you're
don't
supposed to be ready.
You said
Dude, you were supposed to be freaking doing all the background check on
Wait,
the
Paul.
No.
Paul.
You said
Moses
you did
said
background.
Moses
I
said he
took
was a
notes.
professional. I heard Moses say at the beginning of the show that he was a professional. I'm just saying.
I didn't do no background checks. Let me just. Okay, her name is Starlight.
I don't know which one it was,
Bright
but I know
Scott.
she was a Nitro Girl.
Okay, I'm gonna dig through credits. Nitro Girl, Stephanie McStephanie. Got it. Who are you relating and who are you fucking? No, I didn't do none of that. I reviewed this show.
Come on, man, you were supposed to be doing that.
For what?
I don't know.
I reviewed the
Just
show.
go ahead and keep
I
going.
don't
Fuck
dig
it.
through people's personal lives. I am not a personal investigator. WCW Cruiserweight Championship match. Disco Inferno. Billy Kidman, who just goes by Kidman because apparently Billy is silly.
Right? Who was part of Raven's flock. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Quote the Raven.
Nevermore, Raven.
Nevermore. Now
We have Alex Wright, Fit Finley.
geez,
Next match.
you're just gonna say fuck this match.
Am I
Is
jumping
that-
ahead?
Yeah, you hated that match. You hated this match this much.
Oh, you want me to tell you?
I would love for your immediate opinion since you're already skipping to the freaking.
Wait, I got an opinion. First of all, let's keep it real. Alex Wright is just Disco Inferno with blonde hair.
Wait a minute. Wait.
It's the same. It's just the same.
What about the
corny
Kidman
dancing
match?
gimmick? Wait, hang on. We're not there yet. I'm just strictly talking about the dancing. That's all
He's
I'm
just
saying.
taller and thinner.
And
That was just-
wait, but here's what's crazy. You see, guys in the crowd were doing the dance. He was actually over with the crowd.
Right?
That's the thing that Alex Wright was really over with the crowd. It was a little crazy. I think that people
He
were
was
doing
trained
it
by
for
his
fun,
dad.
but nonetheless, everybody was doing the dance, or at least attempting for sure.
And I'm telling you, these college students, they were all up in him. And not in that way.
And not in that way for sure. So yeah, Alex Wright fixed Finley. 5 minutes, not horrible. I didn't hate it.
That's
Actually,
a lie.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3. Finley's really good.
What did Finley? He spent the whole match on his back.
That's fine.
I
He
mean,
can sell.
come on,
He's a good
man.
sell. Good seller. He put the guy through the work. Alex Wright looked good. Nothing sloppy. Nobody messed anything up. It's a 3. At least it's better
There
than
was
Perry
nothing stuff,
Saturn
but they
versus
didn't
Lodi.
even-
I don't even want to get into that shit match.
They didn't do anything. I gave it a 1.5 because I was like, why? Why? The best part of this match was when that guy gyrated his hips on his way out and then it was on his way back up the ramp. That was it. That was only like, I was like, oh, well, there's some hip gyration. I guess I'm in. Other than that,
I'm all about it. It was great.
1.5, sir.
I'm with Amir. I gave it a 1.5.
1.5. Okay. Perry Saturn and Lodi. This was like 4 minutes of a. I don't even. who the fuck is Lodi? Who sent this guy out there? And why is this guy out
Lodi was part of Raven's flock.
there? He goes out there and just
Again,
gets murdered.
a lot of these matches were not pay-per-view quality, and
No,
they
this
could have
was
been
like
on
a Thunder
Nitro.
match.
They could have been on Thunder. Hell, they could have been on freaking WCW Saturday night. Not on a damn pay-per-view.
No, this Perry Saturn and Lodi was weird. Saturn looked weird. It was just
No. You have to admit, at least you can see in this match, Perry Saturn, him wrestling is actually better than what it was in WWE.
that's
Well,
for sure.
because he was with Moppy. I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
Moppy, but yo, bro,
He was just tossing this dude around like he was nothing.
in this match, bro. First off, that leg sweep, I was like, woo, this boy is going, and his kicks were on point. Unfortunately, his opponent was complete trash. The
Garbage.
gimmick of like grabbing the crowd signs, trash. So I literally wrote, I rate this match a 2 because Saturn
You gave
is
it
very
points?
athletic and great with his legs. I gave a 2 because Saturn showed what he could do, not because Lodi did anything. Lodi was a giant waste of time, complete trash, and that's why nobody knows who he is today. Lodi, here's a relatively unknown fact. Lodi went on to be nobody. Fuck him.
Yeah, that's what I got too. Hold on, let me look him up. Yep, it says error. It says he was a nobody.
Record can't be found.
But yes, that's exactly what happened. Perry Saturn just did everything he needed to do in this match. It was just him. It was just him showing off his movesets, and that was it. And for that, I gave it a 1.
I gave it a half because it wasted my time, and I
like
hated
Perry
it.
Saturn though. But
I don't
this
mind
match,
Perry
not in
Saturn.
this one.
But I just felt like this was if you're gonna use Perry, if you're gonna use Saturn, use him in the match, make him go through some time, put in some effort. Fucking squash match went 4 minutes, could have went a minute. I didn't need to see 4 minutes of this. It's completely unnecessary. Completely.
Very unnecessary. I ain't not gonna disagree with that.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
So
Now that the first 5 matches could have been on Nitro.
let's
or
see. Jericho and
Saturday
Raven
night.
would be like a good Nitro match. Ming and Wrath is Nitro all the way. Disco and Juventud is a Nitro match. Alex Wright and Fit Finlay, you could probably say that's a good Thunder match. Perry Saturn and Lodi is a Thunder match. Kidman and Disco Inferno for the Cruiserweight title, however, I would say is pay-per-view quality, but not by much.
Oh, by the way, then I'll go back to the Disco Inferno Juventud.
Okay.
I believe it was Mike Tenay that actually mentioned that it was if the winner got a cruiserweight title match later in the night.
That's right.
That's the other thing I was gonna say when we were talking about that match.
Yeah, and the giant Disco Inferno ended up beating Juventud, wins the opportunity to face Billy Kidman. He does, and like I said, puts on a pay-per-view quality cruiserweight title match. Just barely, but went about 11 minutes. Not too bad. Billy Kidman is a different kind of cruiserweight. He's not high-flying. He's not all over the place. He's more of like a technical kind of cruiserweight, but still good.
He got Tori Wilson, so he was doing something right.
That is true.
Right.
Very, very true. But Billy Kidman ends up picking up the win, retaining his Cruiserweight Championship. Disco Inferno looking like a fool and a gigantic man in a Cruiserweight division. So,
Right, 240 pounds in the Cruiserweight division. What happened to 205?
fucking right. So,
Oh, I don't know what their fucking Cruiserweight fucking limit is, but...
yeah, I was like, geez, if they're going to have, like, fucking Scott Steiner's going to be like, I'm a Cruiserweight. They're going to be like, you bet your ass you are. You get in there.
That's funny because I actually thought the X division in TNA, I actually thought that was like a cruiserweight like thing.
No, it
until
wasn't.
freaking Samoa Joe won it.
No, it's more of just like a crazy kind of match, I think. No, not even
I thought
Yeah.
it was cruiserweights too.
It's just a different.
Hey, I
version.
didn't care. Fuck it, it was good. That was
True that.
Even the, you know what? The funny thing is that the cruiserweight championship in WCW was actually thrown around so much. It was kind of like a hardcore title, but there were some really, really excellent matches in the, in that time.
Agreed.
Yeah, the cruiserweight division.
This wasn't one of them, but I'm just saying that there were.
Yeah, the cruiserweight division was a thing of beauty, and honestly, the cruiserweight division was the thing that made WCW so much better than WWE back in the day.
Oh yeah,
I agree with that one. So I give it a 3.
Yes, we are simpatico on that because I also gave it a 3. I thought it was a great match. Disco Inferno came out and really showed in this match, unlike his match earlier in the night, that what he could do, what he was worth. Kidman did a great job with the comeback and selling and everything, and I just thought, damn, this was a really impressive match. I was really into it, so I also gave it a 3.
I actually gave it a 3 also. It was funny because I'm watching Billy Kidman, and I want to say it kind of reminds me of like a Cedric Alexander in some senses where he gets technical at times, but he can high fly every once in a while. And I know Cedric is a little bit more of a upbeat kind of wrestler where he high flies, but there's still times where he's just that ground and pound and let me hit you, and that's pretty much how I see Billy Kidman.
Yeah, man. Also, it was crazy to see because I'm used to seeing Billy Kidman, the agent in the back, who's got short hair now and's got some weight on him. It was weird to see him as a skinny kid again.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with that one. This next monstrosity of a match for the WCW Tag Team Championships, Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell against Scott Steiner, and replacing his normal partner of, I forget who his normal partner is, the Giant.
Scott Hall.
There you go, Scott Hall, who is running this weird as hell feud, which I will get into that one soon. But the Giant, the Big Show, whatever you want to call him, comes down to the ring smoking
Paul White,
because that's what he does, I guess. Just threw me off. This whole match threw me off. I didn't.
I was waiting. You know what? In all honesty, I was waiting for. Well, it's the Big Show.
I was like, dude, totally gonna cut his music
Jericho.
But nope.
We got the NWO.
Fine by me. Because see, the thing is, if anybody who remembers the Giant prior to him joining the NWO, he had no theme song.
So he just walked out to nothing?
Walked out to nothing. He'd just be like, I'm the goddamn Giant. He'd come out, kill people, and leave. That's it. Which was good. But they used to do the same thing with Goldberg. But see, Goldberg has like one of the best entrances ever. So, and
I love Goldberg's entrance. So awesome.
Anyway, I got to get into this terrible godforsaken match. It's Scott Steiner gets in there. I mean, Rick Steiner gets in there, and he's just getting his ass kicked. That's what most of this match is. He's just in there getting his ass kicked the whole time. He's getting hit on. He's getting beat up by fucking Paul White. He's getting beat up by his brother Scott. He barely makes a comeback. He finally starts to make a real comeback, and then fucking Bagwell booked it. Heads to the back like a fucking complete dickhead, which we all saw coming. And then it ends up just being a 2-on-1 melee. They end up fighting into the outside. Rick comes back all of a sudden out of nowhere, hits a big clothesline, and then a bulldog, and he by himself becomes the new tag team champions. It was an interesting match to watch, a solid ending, but it went 5 minutes too long. You knew Buff was going to leave from the jump. Paul White sucks. I don't have anything else. I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, please give me something because this match was god awful. Just god awful.
Okay, first of all, I thought it was like a really weird match. I thought like the start was weird, but I did enjoy the finish. And first of all, Moses Marquez, we're not gonna sit here and act like the Big Show didn't hit a missile dropkick off the top rope.
First off, I'll give you that drop kick looked ridiculous, but the rest of it was crap.
But do you see how Scott Steiner sold the dropkick though?
I do.
He sold it prison style, ass in the air, like he's waiting to give it away. You know what I'm saying?
That's oh my God.
You can't tell me that shit wasn't funny. That shit was hilarious.
No, it was hilarious. I will give you that for sure.
I thought this match was actually more comical than what it was wrestling. I actually thought it was funny. Just the way watching freaking the Big Show, you know. I mean, we know how he is. We know how he is. But just watching him in this match, it was like it was hilarious.
It was hilarious. I when I first started to watch this match, I was like, all right, this is gonna be like a serious match, serious. And I'm just like shaking my head the whole rest of it. I'm like, this thing is awful. What am I doing? Why am I watching this? Like, do I want to fast forward it? No, I can't fast forward it. I should fast forward it. Now I'm just gonna keep watching. It's got to get better, right? It's got to get better, and it got better because it ended. So Rick Steiner is the tag team champ by himself. This means that Scott Steiner now has to fight his brother. And I mentioned earlier that J.J. Dillon said it had to be for 15 minutes. Their match went 5. Bullshit. I hate you.
Wait, I just want to say in that first part of the match where Rick Steiner becomes tag team champion by himself, I gave that 2.5.
Yes, 2. Real what?
Yeah, well, you know what, man? He fucking overcame a lot at the end, all right? Shit. It was all the things that were stacked against him. First of all, I hate Scott Steiner, but Rick is okay with me, okay? And it was good story. The Steiners aren't super great wrestlers to me, but it was good storytelling, man. He overcame a lot to win that match. You know what I mean?
Now look at here.
The effort was there.
Look at here.
You know what's funny is I said this thing was comical. It was very, very comical. It was one of those matches you're just like, you're laughing because of the stupid shit that's going on. And you see Scott Steiner, how much he's selling. And believe me, he's selling hard in this match. And I gave it a 2.
And you gotta say,
for that.
High all the time. What the fuck were you guys watching? I gave this a 1, and I love Rick Steiner, okay? I fucking graft my goddamn wrestling style against his when he was at Michigan. That's how much I like Rick Steiner. He is the only reason there's a point in this match. This match was god-awful. That missile dropkick would deserve a half a point, but I don't feel like giving it to him. So they can kiss my ass. And for the record, Kenny Chaos eventually is picked to be Rick Steiner's tag team partner, who just so happened to be one half of High Voltage. So he breaks up a tag team to get a tag team partner. He's a dick. On to the next one.
He said you're a dick.
He's a dick. Speaking of dick people, Scott Steiner tries to wimp his way out of this match at first. He ends up getting into it with his brother. They just fucking brawl all over the place. Rick starts, hits a gut wrench suplex, runs him into the turnbuckle. Scotty turns it around, hits another low blow right in the middle of everybody. He's choking him right in front of the ref. Nobody cares. He tried to leapfrog Rick, but ends up getting power slammed. Rick hits a belly-to-belly, and then someone dressed as Bill Clinton comes in with a security guard, and it turned out to be Buff Bagwell. He waffles Rick Steiner, lays out Charles Robinson, hits the bell mysteriously. It is a no contest. I fucking hate this. This is bullshit.
I think that they went through. Again, this is like the second half of the first part, and the the fact that Buff Bagwell comes through the crowd. I was like, when I saw that mask, I was like, oh, are they making fun of Vince McMahon because he has on a suit and the mask looks like it could be Vince? I wasn't really sure what was happening, but the part where it's Bagwell again, and you're like, oh, geez, this is kind of funny what they're doing here. But again, Rick Steiner overcoming. They made it look like he was going to be down and out. He kicked out, and Buff Bagwell kept trying to, because little Nate was in there, right? Refereeing the match, Charles Robinson, and at some point somebody breathed on him, so he's knocked out completely because that's how that works.
Yep.
And Buff Bagwell was trying to use little Nate's hand to do the counting for him. And my favorite part about the story was the part where like he's just not gonna give up. He's kicking out every time. And I think they just, I like the part where they did everything they could to stop him and he still won. So it might have been like a bit chaotic and maybe even bizarre at some points, but because Rick Steiner was able to stand tall after going through a tremendous amount of adversity in one match, I gave another 2.5 to him.
Jesus. But yes, Rick did eventually hit a top rope bulldog, gets the pin, an actual 5-minute ending. It was just weird. I gave it a 1.5. I didn't know if it was over. I didn't know if it wasn't over. I didn't know what was going on. I was just so lost and baffled. 1.5.
Jeez.
Are we still on? Which match are we on?
This is now the Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner match.
Oh God, no. That's a 0.
See,
I ain't even gonna give it. No. That was just like, it was like nothing, and I got it. This wasn't even as funny as the match that he had. Fine, he said he didn't want to fight him. He went up the ramp, or went out the entrance, and then brought him back in. And the Big Show took one swing and then walked away. And then they went back in the ring, and it was like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That was a 0 for me.
Okay, speaking of a 0, this next match was a little hard to watch. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. Scott Hall comes down. He has a drink in his hand. It looks like water. I'm hoping it was water. The fact that, first off, let me, before I continue, the fact that WCW had the balls to take Scott Hall's real life alcoholism issues and turn it into a fucking storyline is beyond me. I remember it as a kid, and I probably didn't think anything of it. And now knowing the truth and seeing what the guys gone through, and all that, how fucking dare they? I'm glad they're out of business. 'Cause just wow. Watching this over again, I did not want to fast forward it because I felt like I had to watch it. And a little part of me regrets watching it because it's like, they promoted this. So that's that. I got nothing.
Dude, there was nothing. Okay. I knew the background to this match. I knew everything. I mean, we already know. I mean, if you've known Scott Hall's career, if you know Scott Hall's, life in general, you know that it's
tumultuous.
That he battled alcoholism. I mean, DDP pretty much brought him back to life. After he was pretty much down and out. I think what gets me is they glorified it.
Well, yeah, it turned into a storyline, and then they made it.
Yeah. And the fact that he was at a bar, he was doing shots with people. I mean, he was. We'll end up watching Nitro. If you watch Nitro, you'll see about just before, I guess, in the months before this, before they started breaking, before the Outsiders broke up, you'll see that he was always at a bar. He was always like, hey, he's coming in drunk, stumbling, slurring his words, and it's like, dude, why are you guys taking advantage of this? Why are you guys doing this to him?
Yeah.
You guys are basically, encouraging him to continue to keep doing it, but yet, and giving him no help. That's what disgusts me about this match.
So I gotta get into it because I think the sooner we get into it, the sooner we can get out of it. This was 15 minutes of a struggle. These guys have just a full-on brawl. They're just clubbing at each other. Some of these shots are stiff as shit because these guys are bleeding strictly from the mouth. All of a sudden, a couple of I think Nash ends up gigging. They just brawl and brawl and brawl forever, and then Nash ends up hitting the jackknife. He's calling for one more. He says, "I think I'll have a double." He hits one more, tells him to suck it, doesn't even pin him, and then just walks away. And I'm like, so you just fucking just told all of us, fuck off. This match doesn't mean shit. You beat the fuck out of this guy forever, who is either actually hammered drunk right now or is pretending to be, and is doing a damn good job because I can't fucking tell. And why? What? Like, what? What did I just watch? Like, can any of you guys put any context on this? Like, what in the hell was this? What was this? Was this supposed to be a match? Was this supposed to be a fucking soap opera? I don't know what this was.
It was like an ass beating and trying to knock some sense into somebody, and then just saying, you know what, you made your point, you're walking away. And that's pretty much what, not Mike Tenay, who the hell was the other freaking guy?
Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone. He made the point, and then that's the exact same thing Bobby the Brain Heenan, said too. He proved his point. And walked out of the ring and walked back. Started taking off his gloves and whatnot, and gave him 2 jackknife power bombs, and then it was like, okay, I'm done. All right, bye. Deuces.
Emir, as somebody who was not a big WCW fan, what did you get from this?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I love you guys, so I don't really care what you think of what I'm getting ready to say. The story behind this match, the 2 best friends now turned bitter enemies. They came into WCW together. They revolutionized wrestling by getting Hogan as the 3rd man. They turned the tide in the Monday Night Wars, and now to see them, Scott Hall giving out the stiffest shots I've ever seen him take on anybody, to Big Sexy there, Kevin Nash, to the point where I was like, man, is he really hitting him? Is Kevin Nash not really making a big deal because Scott is his best friend in real life? Is Scott Hall actually drunk? Like, what is going on? The only thing I didn't like is when there's one point where he blatantly pops the blood capsules in his mouth, and the camera just shoots like right over his shoulders, so that's when he did it. Like they were gonna catch it on camera, and then the guy had the wherewithal to like, oh, let me shoot right above his shoulder. But other than that, there was in my opinion, the storytelling in this match was great. Scott Hall, it was good. I enjoyed it, and I actually gave this match a 4. because of the storytelling and how invested I became in this match
Hold
and in
on,
these
wait a minute. Hold on,
characters.
wait. I heard you correct, right? You said a 4, a cuatro, as we say in Espanol.
What the the wrestling was okay, but the story and the
The
feeling behind
wrestling
it,
was okay.
yeah, it was. I listen, man, listen. It was just a clobber. It was just like a clobber fest. It was like just a lot of punching and a couple of jackknife power bombs, and there was some blood. I get it, but I'm just talking all inclusive here. I think it was the best story that was told, for me. I enjoyed it. I think it was the highest rated match for me for the night, and it's a match that match to me, I would rewatch that a few times over without getting tired of it. I was pleasantly surprised with this match.
Paul, please.
A 1.
Is that all?
That's it. I just gave it a 1. I mean, it was everything. I want to say every shot that he gave and Bobby Heenan pointed it out. He said, "You see how hard he's hitting him. You see how stiff those punches are. They weren't just like I'm gonna graze him. No, he hit him. He Kevin Nash was literally punching the hell out of him. There was no I'm gonna take it easy on you. No, he was literally punching the shit out of him.
Yep.
Stiff and everything, dude. And it was hard to watch at times, but then it's like we have to do this, but we're a review show, we review things, so I'm watching it and I cringed at some of the things that I'm watching him stumble. I've had friends who've gone blackout drunk. I've seen them before, so it's watching Scott Hall do it. It was eerie and it was creepy, and just for that, I gave it a 1.
Yeah, like I said, I give it a 1.5. I can agree with Amir to a degree on the story behind it. Best friends driven apart, that whole nonsense. But just like all in all, like I said, the it made me feel uncomfortable to a degree. And when it was over, I felt like it went maybe a little too long. I think we should have went at least 10 minutes. It went 15. It could have cut 4 or 5, 2-3 minutes out of it, and it would have probably been a little better. But I mean, he goes in there and beat the shit out of him, try to beat some sense into him, and at the end of the day, if he did or didn't, he's walking away nonetheless, and that's kind of how it was. And then more Nitro Girls, because that's what we need after we see two best friends beat the living shit out of each other. We need to see some broads dancing. Because that's what, like I said, that's exactly what we need. So I'm going to skip that because I know you guys
because
did.
we needed to see some girls shaking the ass, shake it.
Exactly. WCW U.S. Heavyweight Championship match. Sting versus Bret the Hitman Hart. The Scorpion Deathlock versus the Sharpshooter. It's the same fucking move.
Well, what surprised me was when for a long time, I thought, Sting is just the Scorpion Deathlock is a bootleg sharpshooter. And then I came to find out that Bret Hart got his move from Sting, not the other way around.
And what?
Yes, Sting had the Scorpion Deathlock. Bret Hart did not originally have the sharpshooter. Somebody came to him and taught him how to do the Scorpion Deathlock. And the sharpshooter is named the sharpshooter because Bret is a hitman. And in order to be a hitman, you have to be able to be good with a gun. You have to be a sharpshooter.
Oh.
So that's why it's called the sharpshooter.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's all true. That's all true.
Whatever you say, dog.
You can. That's verifiable. That's all the truth. So, just to recap here, the Scorpion Deathlock was a move that Sting had before Bret had the Sharpshooter, and the Sharpshooter is named that because Bret's moniker is the Hitman.
Yeah, because Yeah, because
Look at you with your big brain and all that stuff. Knowing all the knowledge.
I knew you were good for something, damn it.
Gee.
Hey, I'm good for plenty.
Good for a few things, that's for sure. Anyway, this match was pretty good. I rarely see a Bret match that I don't enjoy. I rarely see a Sting match that I don't enjoy. So this was the best of both worlds. It was fine. Bret is like the ultimate heel, which he was in WWF, so I'm glad to see it, jump over. The goatee was weird for Sting. I gotta bring that up. It didn't even look like Sting. It just looked like some guy.
It looked like my cousin Fred. Just with long hair and face paint.
And face.
I don't have a cousin Fred, but if I did,
That's
he
what
would look like that.
He'd walk around in a all black singlet.
Okay, now, as we're gonna get into this match, I have to say this. In times, I guess during the time that Bret Hart and Sting were on different shows, and were on different brands or different companies. And, we always thought, what it would be like if this person faced this person. We always think, well, what if cross brands, cross companies, how we see like New Japan and ROH or New Japan and, and TNA, we wonder what it would have been like if those guys, faced these guys. And we got this, in this match. But I guess to me, it doesn't live up to the hype like it would be, like as if it was Vince McMahon promoting it. We get the watered down, Eric Bischoff version of it. And I'm not saying it was, horrible. I just think I wanted more. I think because you think of the two names, you think of how great it could have been, but we got this. And I'm not saying, again, back to what I said, I'm not saying it's bad. It just it didn't live up to the names.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I felt this to me was exactly how I felt watching AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania last year. Where like you see the two names and you're like, oh my God, here we go. This is it. This is gonna be insane. And then it happens and you're like, turns out these two don't really have a shit ton of chemistry.
I can agree with that.
Just being in a different promotion, as well as I do. It's not like it would have been had we get Samoa Joe and AJ Styles in TNA. If we do it in WWE, it's going to be a little bit flatter version of it.
That's for sure.
Or if it would have been at New Japan, then it would have been insane.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, is that we think about it and we think about all these guys that could have had like great matches, in other promotions, and when they were in other promotions, and how excellent and like pretty much 5-star, 6-star matches that they had in other promotions. And then like you said, you get the name Nakamura, you get Styles, and you get it at WrestleMania, and all of a sudden it's like you're like, yeah, and you're like, oh,
yep,
what the hell was that? That's pretty much like, it's like somebody telling you, oh my God, this is like the best pizza I've ever had, dude, you need to try this place. And it's like you get over there and you're just like,
yeah,
no.
No, that was
I've had better.
Like I said, you guys, you've hit the nail on the head there, Paul. Dude, this match was one of those matches where it did not live up to the expectations of the names behind it. But I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. The stretcher job at the end was very interesting. It was he hits him with the belt coming off the second rope. The ref helps him recover. Brett locks in the sharpshooter. Anyway, ref drops the arm 3 times. Sting's out. They stretcher him out, and it is what it is. It's the ending was.
I had to I had to go back. I had to go backwards for a second because I had to see when he did the splash in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I saw how high he went, and now mind you, the camera was in the corner, so you see him go past the camera. So I don't know if he hit that post or not, but he looked a whole lot of dazed and confused when I rewound it the second time, because him leaning over the rope, I think he did hit himself. I don't want to say like it was just a play in the match, but I think he did hit himself. I mean, the announcers
did bring it up, I think he did too, because yeah, he fucking flew over that thing. It was like when Cesaro did it and busted his teeth.
But then, Bret Hart, that's the thing too, like when it happened, is like, this is the part of wrestling that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so Sting, I don't think that Sting hitting the post was an accident, because then Bret Hart immediately no-sold the Stinger Splash and just like rolled out of the ring and went like, I shall go for the bat now. So it's like, okay, if Stinger does it on accident, then there should be Bret Hart still selling the move, because there's no way he's going to know. He's got his head down. He doesn't even know. Seemingly, he wouldn't know that Sting hit the thing by accident, and he would have sold the splash. But he just immediately rolled out the ring and moved on to the next thing.
And I saw that too, but I don't know. It's like when he was leaning over the rail, I mean, he grabbed the bat, but you see the shots that he was giving him, it wasn't like they were hard shots. It was just like, he's just barely like, he's hitting him, but it's not like forcefully hitting him with the bat. So in my mind, and again, back to, we don't really know what the hell happened. So we can only play up the fact that you see it, and it's like, okay, well, what if he really was knocked the hell out?
Yeah. That was scary. So, did we get review on that one? Did we get a rating for that one?
I had it coming in. I liked the part at the end where they had Bret Hart going over, but they had Sting knocked out. Therefore, he didn't have to tap, which protected him, because there's no version of you submitted or you tapped out. So even though it was a slow start, and it wasn't all I wanted it to be, I still give this match a 3.
Ooh. And that's pretty much what I gave it, because I wanted more. I wanted there to be more. I wanted it to be a little bit more faster paced, more technically oriented, and it's like, you got what you got, and it's, again, back to the whole watered down version of what it could have been. I gave it a 3, but in my mind, I agree with Amir in that Sting didn't lose face because, he didn't tap out, and it put Bret over.
Yeah.
Still, why putting Bret over?
I agree with you guys. I give it a 3. Felt that it was missing a little something, a little slower than I expected, but all in all, it was fine.
Did we get more Nitro girls?
No, thank Jesus.
Oh, thank God. Oh.
Because the next thing we get is the worst, and I'm going to say this right now. This is the one and only, this is one of the big reasons why this show was like on the level of the AWA Super Brawl 3 show we watched. This was by far one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life. and it involved Hulk Hogan. It's this 14 minutes of pure stalling and building towards the Greco-Roman knuckle lock, and a whole lot of rope running where these old men do not need to be running the ropes, and the Warrior looking 2 times smaller than he has looked. Did I mention Hogan's horrible tan where his skin looked fake and his beard looked painted on? I just could not fathom what I was watching. They stalled for a minimum of like 5 minutes after the bell rang. And they built the company around this
I have to say this. You know it has to be the worst match when Dave Meltzer tells you it's the worst match he's ever seen in his life. And he actually and I'm not going to go ahead to give you my rating, but I'm going to tell you what he gave. He actually gave it minus 5 stars.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Him and I see on the same level.
Gene, you know what? Even Gene Okerlund said it was a disaster. You had the Standard Times there. I believe it was in Vegas, calling it the worst match of the decade. You had Sports Illustrated calling it one of the worst matches they've ever witnessed in the history of wrestling. So the reason why they called it that, the reason why they brought back the Ultimate Warrior was because they wanted to pick up where this match, give basically to massage Hulk Hogan's ego and get him the win for it, to help him get that supposed loss, to get over his loss of 8 years previously, like they said then, in the 8.5 years previously in the pay-per-view. Warrior commented himself saying they used Ted Turner's checkbook to buy me to come back to lose the match against Hulk Hogan. It was repulsive to me, and when I finally realized it, I had to leave. He said, and then he goes, and I almost gave back all the money.
He's like, but I ain't doing that, suckers.
One thing I noticed about this match is that Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan did exactly in this match what they did years ago back in WWF. They're like running the ropes at the same time, and just a lot of who can outsmart the other guy. I don't know, man. It was just, I don't even know that anybody got off of their feet in this match, because it's like, who's gonna take a bump? Not I. Nobody.
That's for sure.
They're too old for that, or they think they're too far in the business to take a bump. Also, the one part of the match that was the worst part, the most complete trash part, is like Hulk Hogan pulls out some zigzags and a lighter, and then he just lights the paper on fire and it immediately goes away. And
it was meant to be a
then
fireball.
Warrior's just kind of like, well, don't know what that was, so let's just wrestle past it. It's like, we're not going to address a sandwich bag where he lit a piece of paper on fire that did nothing. We're just going to roll on past that.
Yeah, because that was a botch. They ruined it. He was supposed to throw fire at the Warrior. Instead, he lit the paper, and it burnt. It literally burnt his mustache and his eyebrow.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was a hilarious fuck up. This is the lowest rating I've ever given a match on this show and possibly in life. I am not going as low as 5 for Dave Meltzer, but as the -3, I don't ever need to see this match again. I don't ever need to see another Hulk Hogan match again.
Better be careful, bud.
Okay, you know what? Let me just say this then. I don't need to see this match again, and may God have mercy on its soul. because this was just terrible.
At least Bischoff can say that he admitted that it pretty much stunk up the joint
Everybody should have wore this
after
show
the
no
match.
points.
After the match, there is something funny. After this match that I'm going to mention. But I went with Meltzer. I went at a -5. I am never, ever, ever, probably in my life, ever going to give a match that freaking rating. Believe me, this one was completely fucking horrible. I wouldn't wish
this
this to watch
spaceship.
this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish fucking Butcher to fucking watch this. That'll just tell you a whole lot.
Bullshit. I would torture people with this match. I would tie them to a chair, force their eyelids open, and watch the monstrosity. And they would give me all the information.
Hold their eyes open with fucking toothpicks. Here, watch this.
I can't watch it. He's too tan.
I can't watch it. His beard is too white.
Oh, yeah.
And why is it black and white? And why is his hairline all the way to the back of his head?
Fucking Jesus.
Why does he have a fucking 45 head? Not even a forehead. It's a 45 head.
Ymir, what do we got?
All right.
Man, I just want to know if there's a way that we can go ahead and pretend like the match didn't happen. I don't know why it needed to happen, and most of all, I just felt super gracious that it wasn't the main event. Because I just thought, I also hated the, you know how like Mick Foley will always bring out the tax? That's it. That's his shtick.
Mm-hmm.
I hate every match where Hogan whips somebody and then gets whipped with that belt. It's like every time you wrestle, you must take off the belt and beat them with it, and then they must beat you back with it. We get it. You hit people with belts. Like it's ridiculous. So
yeah, that was his stick after he fucking went into the NWO. I'm gonna beat everybody, and even before that, I believe it was before that when he.
I'm sure when he
or
signed,
no, it
that's
was
when
right
he told,
after
like,
he.
I'm losing to nobody, Pally.
Yeah, because he had that weight. Because he had that weight belt after he had the surgery on his back.
And that fight, he's like beating the shit out of Warrior with the weight belt, and the ref's like, if you hit him again, I'm going to throw you out. And he hits him again. He's like, hey, I told you. Don't do it again. Like, what are you doing? It was just,
that was.
I need to start a new segment on this whole show called The Chopping Block, where we're going to start chopping matches. This match would be chopped right now. Just can't. It's just ridiculous.
Are we? Would we even get past the name of the match or who was in the match? And no, it would get on the chopping block and would be like, no.
We'll chop it. We'll never watch it again.
Bye, bitch.
So let's get to the main event, because the main event was, my opinion, the best part of this whole show.
Never seen.
Oh, you've never seen this match?
Until the next night. Well, no, it wasn't seen until the next night.
Oh, that's right. This match was shown
because the feed terminated. Because the feed terminated after 3 hours, which means that everybody got to see. Whoever ordered the pay-per-view actually got to see that fucked up match that we just rated, but didn't get to see this one until the next night.
Goddamn shame. But the match that they missed out on was what probably, in my opinion, would have been the match of the night, the match of the pay-per-view. But because it was on the pay-per-view, for us, it is, in my opinion, the match of the night. The WCW World Heavyweight Championship, Goldberg, the man, as Bobby the Brain Heenan calls him, against Mr. Self-High-Five himself, DDPY owner Diamond Dallas Page. This match, I thought, was really good. They tried some things. It got a little slow because they felt like they were going a little too fast. But it turned out to be really good. Diamond Dallas Page, a guy that has nothing but heart and tenacity, and he just kept coming at Goldberg and coming at Goldberg and coming at Goldberg, and Goldberg's just like, do you know who the fuck I am, Haas? I'm fucking Goldberg, dude. And just the whole match, dude, just DDP's trying everything. And he's got no answer, and then all of a sudden, bam, he hits the diamond cutter, and you think, oh, it's it. But no, they're too tired, and they're too far apart, and it's just, and it was like, oh, this is so great. At one point, this is one of those few matches against Goldberg where you actually were able to disband the belief, and you thought Goldberg was in jeopardy. Goldberg might actually lose this belt. He may actually lose this match. But of course, that doesn't happen because Goldberg is Goldberg with one arm, is able to get up Diamond Dallas Page after a giant spear that hurt that arm more. Hits the jackknife powerbomb, picks up the victory, remains WCW champion. Before I let you guys talk, I have to talk about Bruce Buffer introducing these guys. I totally forgot that WCW paid that guy so much money just to be the main event announcer for all of
their
Nitro
pay-per-views.
and all their pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And first of all, Goldberg's got the greatest entrance of all time. I just love it. I love it, love
Dude,
it, love it.
It's just too good. I don't
Yeah,
care that
start
it
to
takes like
finish.
5 minutes. It's just so good.
It is, and that spear, it looked like he broke DDP in half with that
Lord.
spear.
It was a big one. He just
That's what she
clobbered
said.
that man.
Yeah.
But Goldberg, as Bobby the Brain Heenan said it, was the man, is the man. 184-0 according to that. That number is obviously completely and totally fake and blown out of proportion. But still undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. This was my match of the night. I watched it 3 times over. I just watched it before we started recording. I give this a 4, the best rating I give any match on this show.
Go ahead, Amir. I will let you go.
I rated this match a 3, and here's why. I was like, holy shit, a Goldberg match that wasn't a squash match. Okay. Holy crap, a Goldberg match that actually went, a decent amount of time. Not to mention, I'm a huge fan of DDP, and yeah, because he was going so deep with Goldberg, and minute by minute, I was being more and more surprised that the match hadn't ended yet, to the point where I was like, it could happen. Maybe he could beat Goldberg. He didn't, but it's just the part where Goldberg actually had to wrestle. He actually had to learn, and that was something I thought was really, really, really good. And then I was happy to see that spear, and I didn't mind Goldberg holding on to the strap. So overall, as I said, I rated this match a 3.
Paul?
WWE journalist Kevin Powers actually hailed this bout as the best ever match held at a Halloween Havoc event.
That's ridiculous.
And I haven't seen them all, so I'm not going to agree with him or disagree with him. It was kind of funny because last year's pay-per-view was actually Hogan versus Piper. It's hard for me to believe that Eric Bischoff could put this card together and it have such a great ending, but have a lot of shit matches.
Oh, it had that.
A lot. I don't want to say a lot of shit matches. A lot
Well,
of.
it did, and it did.
A lot of TV type matches. You would think these type of pay-per-views need some hype. You would think that this one would need some hype. The last match was shit, and I will say that till I fucking die. That match was shit. This match, I thought, was the best of the night. I gave it a 4. I thought Goldberg sold it. I thought Goldberg sold everything that DDP was giving him.
Oh, yeah.
and it was far better than what I thought it was going to be. Because you think Goldberg, I'm with Amir. You think Goldberg, you think it's a squash match. Okay, it's going to end in about 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and then it's done. You know, still world champion, still world heavyweight champion Goldberg. No, this match went on for 14 minutes, I believe the running time on it.
Actually went about 10 and a half.
Something right in there, because I think they were making the
entrances. 10 and a half. But yeah, you add the entrances, you add everything else, you know, you're still doing, I don't know, about a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, all in all, about 17, 18.
You know, their commentary and whatnot, and then Michael Buffer introducing them. You know, and all I'm saying is that this was far better than every match that was on this thing. Like I said, the Sting Bret Hart match, I wanted more because of the names. You think DDP, you know, you think Goldberg, you know, you were going to get the hype. It was better than what I thought it was going to be. It ran longer than what I thought it was going to. And Goldberg, of course, still world heavyweight champion, but he had to work for it and he had to earn it.
Agreed. DDP or actually Goldberg going up to DDP gave him the whole like good job there, kid, nice try, right at the end. So yeah, that was Halloween Havoc 1999. Ended on a high note, and I hate to do this to Goldberg, and the only reason I'm doing this is because I wasted a good 2+ hours of my life watching this monstrosity of a show. This gets not just one, but a whopping 2 thumbs down. I don't ever want to see this again. And technically, because the WC title match was featured on Nitro, the entire show deserves the 2 thumbs down because it didn't have the awesomeness that was Goldberg and DDP.
Yeah, well, it would have been even more interesting had they actually thrown the Hogan Warrior match at the end. It would have ran over. So
that would have been.
It probably wouldn't have fucking mattered. So
if only they would have flipped it and said, "You know what? You'll be the man tonight, there, boys." It would have made the whole show better.
What I have to say is the wrestling on this show was good, but just that, not spectacular, and not even every match.
No, I can agree with good wrestling.
Yeah, it was good wrestling for most of the people. But the thing was, for being a pay-per-view, if you're judging it based off of this is a pay-per-view, we should see some shit that gets us going. It was really lackluster in that respect, and it does not have high replay value to me as a whole. I don't think I'll ever sit down and try to watch any of this again. So because of that, I gave this pay-per-view 2 thumbs down.
Oh, yeah. Paul?
Oh, my God. You guys have to watch this over and over and over.
Yeah, if I want to blow my brains out.
I just wanted to fuck with you because you want to know what? I would torture the shit out of somebody with this damn pay-per-view. I would not, but this, I give it 2 fucking thumbs down. I will watch that Billy Kidman and Disco Inferno match again.
Yeah, I can give that one a minute.
But that's about it. But that's about it. And literally, that's it.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I'm not going to go as far as agreeing with Sports Illustrated, calling it the worst pay-per-view ever, or worst wrestling show ever. But I will say that it is definitely in the ballpark of the AWA Superclass show, just pure garbage.
Thank you very much.
So,
thank you.
You're welcome, everybody. I gave you that pay-per-view to really, really relish this one as being the second worst that you'll ever watch.
Yeah, congratulations, and you are welcome. So we're going to wrap this one up. Next week, we have another great show. It seems to be like a lot of people are clamoring for the next one. We're going to be reviewing Wrestle Kingdom 8 with a special guest host of ours, Ms. Courtney Summers. Ymir, give us some knowledge of Courtney Summers.
Courtney Summers is the Switch Babe. She is Jay White's #1 fan. She is on a podcast. She does a podcast with the Pro Wrestling Torch guys. That you actually have to pay a subscription to listen to it. But the good news is you're not gonna have to pay because Courtney Summers has signed on to do a podcast, an exclusive podcast for RWT in the RWT group on the RWT YouTube page, and it's going to be called Talking Strong Style with the Switch Babe, Courtney Summers. So we're excited for that show to make its debut next month. And she's somebody who just loves New Japan and knows a lot about it. So when we review Wrestle Kingdom 8 coming up here pretty soon, she would love to be a part of it. And then in a few weeks, you can catch her doing her thing on her own show, and hopefully it'll be a hit.
I don't know. We have to give her an initiation. Do we jump her in? Or we tell her, where are you in or you out, eh?
Here's her initiation. She has to watch this pay-per-view.
Oh, Jesus. Don't.
No deal. I'm
We're
out.
some of the worst enemies. Just make her
I have
watch
to
the
watch
NWA
this
show. I'm
pay-per-view.
kidding.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of your gang.
Yeah, she's just like, you know what? Screw the show.
I don't want in, eh?
Anyways, so that's awesome. She's going on there. What's going on with anything else? Anything else on the RWT group? What's going on with Promo Mania?
Yeah, that's the only other thing. Promo Mania. Promo Mania 4 is April 6th. We got Black Bane versus the Butcher promo championship on the line, and then we got Mike Larkin versus the Phoenix defending the Knowledge Championship, which I don't really give a shit who wins that because my real focus is that once that's taken care of, then the Iron Bank. That I hope you, Moses Marquez, you get your hands on that Iron Bank contract, and then that means that whenever you fancy, you can cash that in on Mike Larkin anytime over the course of a calendar year and challenge him for the Knowledge Championship when he least expects it, and hopefully remove it from his waist where it's been sitting comfortably for going on a year now.
I heard he had it on the back of his toilet. I didn't think it was around his waist anymore.
I thought he had it in his refrigerator, but who knows?
Oh, all right. I'm just asking.
But
that's what I heard through the grapevine.
That's what's going on, man. Just the last, we are, we're less than 2 weeks away from Promo Mania, less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and it's been
2 weeks away from the G1.
Right, and then also after the next thing coming up was King/Queen of the Mic tournament, and then the Promo Climax will be coming back as well. Moses Marquez, I know your name has been thrown in the hat to compete in some of these promo tournaments. So that's it. I just hope that everybody tunes in and people join up and want to compete and have some fun with the promos, and that hopefully people will listen on April 6th to Promo Mania 4 and then get out there and vote. I don't really care if you vote for me or you vote for Butcher. I just hope that people are invested and participate.
I agree.
That's right.
I dig it as well. Paul, hit him with the Twitter.
P_Morales, MORALES_RWT. Just to let y'all know, we got a WrestleMania 14 review coming up with Miss Moni Lynn, and we may have another special guest. We aren't really sure yet. We have Wrestle Kingdom, like we said, Wrestle Kingdom 8 that we're going to be reviewing. And we also have one more podcast before we do one switch over for a while. We are doing Chi-Town Rumble. I believe it was 89, which was probably the only one.
That's right. NWA Chi-Town Rumble from 1989.
It's NWA Chi-Town Rumble.
Can never go wrong with the NWA show. But yes, Emir, you're absolutely correct. I'm entering my name into the Iron Bank. Hopefully I win that. We'll see where that goes. I will address the RWT Jeopardy thing another time. I won't waste so much time with that. But yeah, we'll see. But I will take this time now and say that I am officially declaring my name into the king and queen of the mic tournament. We'll see how that goes. I've been pressured by Moni Lynn. She's like, I can't cut good promos, but trust me, we'll have a great time. So that's at the least. You will have some fun times cutting some promos, blow up some steam, see how good you
Damn
may
that
actually
woman!
be.
She's over here fucking up our fucking minds. Damn it!
This is what happens.
It's that beauty thing. I'm telling you.
It takes over after a while, and we're all sucked in. But yes, we do have another person joining us besides Moni Lynn for Wrestle Kingdom. Not for Wrestle Kingdom, for WrestleMania 14. And that is going to be Lewis of Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Evolution Pro Wrestling is now officially in partnership with Smart Mark Radio. You will catch 6 at the current moment, 6 exclusive episodes of Evolution of Pro Wrestling on the SoundCloud station, soundcloud.com/Smart Mark Radio. There's 3 interviews with indie wrestlers, a recent NXT signing in Robbie E., a former 2-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion in Danny Maff, and another one with a awesome group out of New York, the Deadly Saiyan Squad. He also hosts a show with his, I want to say, like 10, 11-year-old son. I didn't catch his age, Jaden. They actually go through a whole bunch of cool, interesting topics and give you a pretty wide perspective from their wrestling knowledge. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Emir, I got your back when it comes down to this promo thing. I've got you. I hope this comes out the winner. Let's see. I'd love to kick
Yeah, I don't like
everybody
either
out
one
here.
of you, so I ain't voting for you.
That's bullshit. That's the problem with Paul. He's an unbiased
It is.
a-hole.
I don't like people.
He don't like people. So,
Hashtag fuck everybody.
all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'll catch y'all later. Remember, if you guys want to join us on any of our upcoming shows, feel free to drop us a message either on the Facebook, on the Twitters. You guys know where to catch it. You got P_Morales RWT, Smart Mark R for Smart Mark Radio on the Twitter. And, of course, you can catch all this content and more at soundcloud.com/Smart Mark Radio. And, of course, at the RWT YouTube page. All right, guys, catch y'all around the bend. Peace out.
Peace.
Deuces.